Hello and welcome. I'm gonna show my smart coffee machine, how it looks like and how it works. It doesn't look very beautiful. I'm gonna show you in a second. This is the coffee machine. It's an Electrolux pretty standard home appliance coffee machine. It heats to about 50 degrees, approximately 40 to 50 degrees. It basically only has an on-off button, the ability to choose how slow you want the water to drip, as well as the ability to set timers. But apart from that, this doesn't really have that much of functions. It's a basic, very basic coffee machine. So the upgrades here, I'm gonna move this aside now because it's gonna fall. Sometimes I get it to stand on its own, sometimes not. For now, since I wasn't really planning on making anything for this project that can be directly slapped onto here and be attached, this thing is completely loose. I can walk around with it, I can remove it, and I can use it to take, for example, the room temperature instead. Reasoning is that I can simply move it around and do tests with it. For a future project, I would prefer if the MCP 9700 thermometer would be attached to the glass. There is no need to worry about anything melting because it doesn't really go up to such a high degree of temperature. So we're going to go over and take a look at how it works on the computer where we get all of the data. I just wanted to mention, if you're not someone who is from Sweden, I would strongly recommend, if you ever visit, to have some falukorv. It's basically one of the best things you can probably have here, according to most people. Either way, we're going to look at the computer here. And here, this is what's currently attached to the FiPi, and it's basically so that I can test everything live and immediately change everything, so I don't have to plug it out and go away over to my actual desktop computer. But we can see here that it writes out everything that it collects. Oh, my cat is doing some noise now. We can see that the time since the machine got hot, which it has reset because I removed it from the glass, so it has gone cold again. But this would be the time since the status turned hot. You can see that the temperature indoors is currently 27.5, which is very hot for being indoors, especially in the shade. We're not currently notifying me over Discord, since of course it's disconnected. We can also see that the status text, this is an interesting one. This is a bit of the complexity. I don't want it to, for example, if we're on the border between hot and cooling down, I don't want it to go from hot to cooling down because it changed by 0.1 degrees, and then immediately send that to the DataCake server. And then immediately when it gets 0.1 degrees hotter again, it turns hot and then it sends to the DataCake server again. It's completely worthless. So I'm using the status text, which is currently set to 5 maximum. And what this does is that whenever the status changes, which is currently cold, here it was, yeah. If it changes, then the status ticks will start ticking for each iteration in the while loop. And if it reaches the maximum value of 5, then it will actually publish the new change in status and all other variables that have changed to the DataCake server. We can show it live here. I'm gonna reattach my sensor. We can also see the time since last notification. This is set to the time from here when the send notification was last set to true. It's to prevent it from spamming. basically. And then finally here we have the statistics max and the time when it first turned hot. I'm gonna reattach the temperature meter now, and we're gonna see what happens. There we go. I have also rebooted the device so you can see how it looks like when you boot up. Told you what a IPv4 address it attached on the local area network. And we can see here that it starts to read a high temperature because it's currently attached again. So we can see that the currently showing status is heating up, because it's heating up, of course. And once we reach, if I remember correctly, 35 degrees, it should turn into hot. We can see that the status ticks here are starting to tick. We have reached 5, so it publishes the information to the database. We have a updated temperature and an updated status. And it tells us that the send notification was not changed, so it is not published. I'm gonna wait until the status turns to hot and we're gonna look at that. And there we go, we have acquired hot status, which is the important one, the really important one. We have surpassed 35 degrees Celsius and the time has started to tick. We can also see that the time start is now 95. Oh, it just published. The time ticks achieved 5, so it's published that, well, it's hot now, so I can see it on a data cake. And we see that time start is 92, which is the time since the FiPi was actually started or booted up. So 92 seconds. And the time after the start time is here, which is the amount of seconds since it turned hot. And we see it's increasing here. It's probably going to reach 40, 45 degrees or so. Totally depends on the temperature in the room. I assume the coffee machine does not have a built-in temperature regulator. But it's hot, and I'm not gonna sit here and wait for it to turn to 300 seconds. Instead, we are gonna go over and take a look at how it would look like when it actually sends information. And here we are. We can see that it's 21 seconds a minute ago when it updated. Oh, my cat is talking to me. You have hair down my entire mat. Gonna have to clean that. We see the 35 degrees. This is approximately when it first turned hot a minute ago. Yes? Hello, Mr. Snuffles. Yes, I can hear you. And we can hear see the temperature here, the last hour here, and the last 24 hours here. And I'm gonna go over to Discord and show you how the message would look like. And here we are, my username, and we see the message as well as a link to the DataCake platform that we saw over here. It just tells me that I've forgotten my coffee, and it sends about every, let's see if I can show the time on this one, but not on this one apparently, which is rather weird. That's on Discord's fault. It doesn't show the first message time. But yeah, it has a 5-minute delay between each message, which is dependent on the rules. We can see here, don't forget to buy coffee. We can go and take a look at that. I'm gonna have to show here. There is my user ID, which is being mentioned, and it tells us everything through a very basic JSON post. We can actually even try it. There we go. Yeah, we get a response, and I receive a Discord notification here. Yep, it's coffee time. 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning actually. Yeah, that's basically how it works. So, yeah, this is how my coffee machine works. And if you have any inquiries about the project, my email is available at the top of the project presentation. Yeah, have a good evening, or morning, or day, whatever you're having.